So with my position with the gang unit, I wrote numerous grants. We received a lot of them through the years, and you're responsible for managing them. Because I was in that position as long as I was, I did it through different presidencies of the
Right.
country. So depending who was in office was where the grant money was directed towards. So you get somebody who, in my opinion, is very pro law enforcement. Hey, we're going to get fucking bad guys off the street. Money goes towards we're going to chase gangsters, we're going to chase violent offenders, that type of deal, dope dealers at a certain level and stuff like that. It's put towards that. You get somebody who's in office that is more into wanting to hold hands and pat everybody on the
Sure.
back and tell them, hey, we're going to get you fixed, even though they're a bad guy. Money goes more towards counseling, rehab, and stuff like that. So we lose money, and I saw that go on, through the years. So I can't speak obviously for the Northeast. I was in law enforcement when 9/11 happened. We don't have that type of a community of a large number of Middle Easterners here in Tulsa. So nothing changed for us in that world, but I have seen the way, depending literally who holds the office of president and how it trickles all the way down to a police department in Tulsa, Oklahoma, how money gets spent.
Well, do you think that that has something to do with the population density that's up there in the east? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Sticks hit it right on the nose. Depending on, like down south, obviously in Tulsa, huge gang issues down there in the Florida area down south. So obviously, if you take money from that type of activity, your streets, you're not even able to walk your streets if the
Correct.
gangbangers are out there running the streets. Up here in Massachusetts, there's not a lot of gang activity. We do have gang activity, not in the community I work. We have it in Boston. We have it in a town called Lawrence. We have it in Springfield. We have it in Worcester, Mass. But in regards to gangs up here, yeah, there's not a lot of money spent on gang enforcement and gang infiltration up here. So whatever the money was spent on, it was, like I said, it was more or less community policing. They pulled a lot of the drug officers out of the schools with the DARE program, and they threw it into the Homeland Security program.
well, you end up with a lot of, let's use the DARE program as an example. One of the things that I noticed up there is that in the hospital, especially on the Cape, we end up with a lot of people who have some pretty serious substance abuse problems, you know? So it's just like every other place in the world. There's a big drug trade that goes on. A lot of people are taking drugs, whether they be over the counter or whether they be made in the basement kind of drugs. So was that some stuff that you dealt with?
Yeah, absolutely. And probably right as of right now, I mean, every community has a drug problem, whether it be marijuana, fentanyl, pills, heroin, cocaine, whatever it may be. And we've always had that, but I think probably in the 90s is when the OxyContin hit pretty hard up here on the East Coast
Thank you,
and
Sackler family.
in Ohio. Yeah, and from there you had the heroin. So the heroin deaths probably from 2000 to 2010 on the East Coast doubled. And now what you're dealing with up here is you're dealing with the fentanyl, and not only fentanyl in the heroin and in the pills, but we've had a couple of deaths of young kids who were just smoking a joint. They're not drug addicts, they're not heroin addicts, they're not coke addicts, they're not even pill heads. They're just a kid smoking a joint that was laced with fentanyl. So that's what you're seeing now, and obviously, we know where that's coming from
Yep.
with the open borders. So there's no argument on that one right there. So that's kind of the big thing that we're seeing up here on the East Coast is just a run-of-the-mill, nice kid smoking a joint, dropping dead because it's laced with fentanyl.
Well, since that money went, it came out of community policing, went into Homeland Security type stuff. Has it gone back since we've kind of, I mean, it's been a good 27 years now?
Uh, 21, 22.
21.
Well,
Yeah,
I think 9/11,
21, 21.
Yeah.
I mean, 21 is some change.
Yeah, if you're a progressive police department, and I think a lot of them up here are becoming more progressive, and you're a mayor or you're the governor or you're a chief, a police chief in a community up here, then absolutely, if you know what's going on and you understand law enforcement, you understand the importance of community policing, a lot of those programs are slowly starting to come back, especially in the last couple of years. If you're a progressive, like I said, law enforcement official, you should know that cops at any point in time are probably the most disliked and distrusted at this point in probably the last 50 years. So it behooves that officer, or I mean, I should say that leader of that department, to funnel money back into community policing and start building trust within the community.